Hello everyone, and welcome. I think we should be live. Yes, we are live here in the group. So, welcome everyone here on this call who is joining in live, or also welcome to everyone who watches the replay. So, I'm very excited here for this very special call with my dear friend and guest, Janice Silva. So some of you might not know me yet because who knows where this amazing interview gonna be posted. So I'm Jara, I'm hypnotherapist, money mindset coach. I've been in touch with Janice since, I don't know, over a year or maybe almost 2 years.
I think close to two.
Two, yeah. So it's been really an amazing connection and friendship and relationship that we have. And yeah, we did some collaborations as well. Janice is also in my mastermind where I help her to shift her relationship to money. So yeah, and today she is here. So we are going to talk about her story. She will share her story, and I've been speaking to many people, but Janice is one where whenever she tells her story, I actually get tears because it's just so touching and incredible what you've been through and where you are now. So also Janice is a lifelong entrepreneur and she was business person of the year 2008. How amazing. So she helps others live life more joyfully through her nutritional rebalancing system and wellness retreats. Yeah. So tonight we will speak about, first of all, her story and then also about the value of self-care, particularly through protein pacing and nutritional fasting, and the impact that this has on our mindset, because also the mind-body connection is a topic that Janice knows a lot about and can really help to go deeper and really, yeah, help you to live a more healthier and happier life. So amazing, Janice, that you are here. Welcome. And I'm just going to hand over to you that you tell us a little bit, first of all, about who you are and your story.
Awesome. Thank you, Yara. And yes, it's been so great working with you, and I can't wait to come to Germany. I
Amazing.
always have to say that first. It's on my bucket list to get over there. Uh, so I'm grateful that we can be on video and connect from Maui to Germany. So aloha, everybody. I'm Janice, and I'm just so grateful that Yara can have this opportunity for me to share with you. I'm passionate about helping people feel better and live with more joy. Yeah, my story, if you wanted just briefly, I'll touch on it. I've been really so focused on the vision of the new story that every time I go back and talk about the old story, I'm reminded of how I want to move past it. But it's so important because it's very inspiring to me and others when I share it. So in 1998, my husband and I bought a 100-year-old farm in Central California. I had grown up in Beverly Hills where my food came from the market. I had no idea where food came from, and I wanted to teach my young children where food came from. So we bought this farm and we transformed it over the years into a lavender farm bed and breakfast, which became the largest little tourist draw in our town there, where we were open every day and we would cast the vision about what we were going to be doing when people would visit at certain times of the year. So we did everything from propagating to planting, tending, harvesting, distilling, labeling, bottling, marketing, selling. And it was a lot. But it was so much fun. And we did it for many years, about 14 years, raised my family there. And I learned a lot about farming. And farmers are the most optimistic people, along with surfers, that I know because they plant every year in hopes that they will get a crop. But, some years are better than others, and that yet they plant again. So I learned a lot about stamina and persistence and dedication and a love of adaptogens. Lavender is an adaptogen, love of plants and how they can help our body adapt to stress. And I would teach people every day that would show up about this and walk them through the fields and then sell them our oil. And it was just this wonderful experience that I thought would go on forever and ever. I was the lavender lady. And in 2009, a year after I won that business person of the year, I stepped in a hole on my first vacation in 3 years. 3.5 years on my husband's 60th birthday and shattered my leg. And I had been teaching Pilates for many years and talking about when you have a tight transversus abdominis, if you fall, you won't break your hip, and on and on. And I became very resentful that after stepping in a hole, so much could happen to me. And I went down hard and was in the bed, a wheelchair, a walker, and a cane, crutches, and then a cane for about 12 months. And lost everything. A year later, lost everything, had to start over. And so it was this very debilitating crisis in our life that since then I've really learned to come to embrace as part of my journey. But it was like losing a baby, really, because we had planted everything, all 14,000 plants. We had created something very special from vision to conception. And we were very popular. People loved us, and everybody was sad, and they didn't want to, they used to come over every day and wanted to see us. And then after the accident, nobody wanted to be around me. So I know what it's like to be at the top of your game, to your bottom of your game. And I know what it's like to feel like you've lost your voice. And I became very depressed and put on over 100 pounds. And that was a heavy burden to carry. It was a lot of resentment. So as I unpeeled the layer, as you know what that means, I started to detox and feel better. I realized that I needed some help. I was having all kinds of psoriasis and eczema issues on my skin that were turning into MRSA, multiple rounds of antibiotics. No, they were telling me, the doctors were saying, you better do something quick, lose weight, get on a good probiotic, and boost your immune system, or you're going to be on a lifetime of medications. And I was on 0 medication, so that scared me. So I knew I had to take action. And as always in my life, when I open up, something comes to me that's necessary, that's needed. And I was introduced to the company that I represent, Isogenics, but most importantly to our foundational wellness system, which really turned things around for me. I started to understand the value of addressing the deficiencies and the stress and the toxins. And I know we address, you and I, and you do with your clients, deficiencies, in our mindset all the time.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we forget about addressing those nutritional deficiencies, and it's a big component. Honestly, what I've learned is 20% of it is moving our body joyfully and getting that movement in, but 80% of it is our nutrition, what we're
Yeah.
putting in our body and our mind.
Yeah.
So it's important to really understand that concept of quality in, quality out, not calorie in, calorie out. It's not a deprivation diet. It's more about understanding how to nourish our body. So in that process of learning to love myself again and release those resentments, all of them, even the lingering ones, through a lot of self-hypnosis with you, for example, and all the work I've done. Somatics is a big one. Just really working to release the trauma out of my body, but the toxins. So my system is very important in that it addresses that through a nutritional fasting protocol, which I love because it's designed to help assist our body with aloe vera and different minerals and adaptogens, botanicals, to actually cleanse the toxins. Then believe me, after all those surgeries, I had 4 surgeries, I was really loaded up with toxins. And toxins, unfortunately, are stored in our fat. So it was like this IV drip of medication that I wasn't used to. And it was really hampering my ability to have any sense of purpose, any energy, any clarity, nothing. It was very difficult. So through addressing the detoxing, things started to open up. So that when I did the work with people like you and stretching and meditation, everything started to click better. The fog lifted.
Yeah.
And so it's just so important to understand, because things like protein, these help build and repair our cells and our tissues. So when we're clearly not getting enough, we're not supporting our cells. And the new self-care is cell care. And the older I get, the more turned on I get about taking care of myself, let me tell you, because when we take care of ourselves, we light up. We have the energy
Absolutely.
to explore our passions and our creative desires, because that's why we're here, right? To make a difference, to wake up with purpose. And so what I love what you do is you help people reset, refocus, get clear, right? And I say, look, part of the process is to also reset
Yeah,
our bodies, get clear.
absolutely. Yeah, and just quickly, I want to say to that, um, we all know that our health is actually our greatest asset, right? I mean, there are so many things that we really desire in life that we want to do that are amazing. But the moment we get sick, it's all secondary. And then it's about our health. It's just about being pain-free or feeling good, feeling energized. And yet, when we look at the food that we actually take into our body, it's it's no wonder, that there are all these diseases like high blood pressure or depression, stress, diabetes. That doesn't come out of nowhere. It's related to our lifestyle and our nutritions. So it's actually, and that is not a secret. People know that, right? But I actually ask myself, when we know that, and when we all have experienced how it is to feel sick or even to be in a deficiency. I mean, so many people, especially women, or when we go through pregnancy, it's so easy
Or
to
menopause.
experience. Yeah, yeah, to experience some kind of, deficiencies and feel that physically in our body. And we feel also the impact that it has on our mindset, on our joy, or, on our energy level in daily life. Why don't we take more care and also invest, and really put our health on our, at the first place on our list?
Well, I have to say that the decline in our health, in especially in our country, but I think all over we're seeing more obesity. So the
Mm,
obesity epidemic really started with the decline in our protein intake and
mm,
the rise in processed foods in the
yeah.
70s. And so I'm a product of that. That's why I said I thought my food came from the grocery store and plastic. And so why it's so important and was important to me to educate my children where food came from, where their water came from, and really to understand that we have to fortify our bodies, right? And unfortunately, the soil is depleted. There is toxins in the soil, and the plants and things that are growing in the soil are depleted. So we're not getting the maximum nutrition. So I'm all about health span, quality movement, quality of life, right? And that's really going to come when we really address those deficiencies. And
Mm,
it's not a complicated thing. And I have found that it's really through this concept of protein pacing that it's really a myth that you can eat too much protein, or that you that but the thing is, we don't want to just eat a bunch of protein. We want to eat quality protein. So for me, that's really why I love my system with the undenatured way. Okay, so if it's an isolate or hydrolyzed, it's a chemical process. So undenatured, it's very important to me. Unprocessed, basically from happy cows in New Zealand, grass fed on grass that's never been touched. So stuff like this with cows that are nursed in season, they're happy. Things like this, the source of where the food comes is important to me.
yeah.
My body became autoimmune after all the stress and the accident. And so I do not do well with chemicals. So it's
Mm,
very important for me to look for the source and how I'm fortifying and nourishing my body, and that I'm doing it. I treat food like medicine, just like you would time your medicine throughout the
yeah.
day, you
Yeah.
time your food throughout the day. And
Mm,
when you really understand that the ultimate healing is love, and you put that love into the food and you're mindful about it, right? Because food is a God-given resource for us to nourish our bodies. And then our bodies are a resource to move and enjoy it. We don't have to kill ourselves with exercise. The science is really showing it's more about intentional movement, and just really having fun and releasing good, happy chemicals while we're doing it, not overdone cortisol, stressed out, burned out on the treadmill for 45 minutes, freaked out zone. That doesn't do our bodies any good.
yeah.
And they're showing us that. So we really just need to calm down and rest more,
Yeah.
enjoy our food more, and really take the idea that we are our greatest investment, like you said. Not just that our health is the most important, but we're the greatest investment. They're always saying, what's your greatest investment? Your house or your whatever. It's your body. You live
Yeah,
in
it
your body.
is. It is. I mean, when we just think about, I totally believe that we are spiritual divine beings and we are incarnated into this body. This is our vessel that gives us the opportunity to experience this life and this 3D reality with all our senses, you know? So without our body or with our body not functioning properly, we are
Right.
not able to experience life. So how can we even, not take care of it?
Absolutely. I've experienced life to the fullest, and it is just such a beautiful thing. And I feel bad for people that are stuck in the not experiencing it to the fullest, not
Yeah,
optimizing the quality of
yeah,
their life. And I know that things that you can do and choices that you make can make such a difference. And they're simple and they're fun and they're easy, right? I was just
mm,
looking here to see if there's anything I wanted to make sure I said that I haven't. I really, this concept of love being healing, right, is so important because the more you love yourself, the more you're willing to invest in yourself. And that's where you can come in to help people because a lot of times the messages we got as children didn't support us in loving ourselves or believing in ourselves. So if we can
yeah,
eliminate that and believe that we are spiritual beings and
yeah.
capable of living a beautiful quality life, doing things with people that we love. I always say to people, what I do is as good as it gets because I get to spend time in my day doing things with people that I love and care about and learning new things, all while improving my craft and getting healthy. And that's all I like to do is just teach people how they can feel better, look better so they have more confidence when they're out there, um, and really enjoy their life without being burdened by a bunch of pharmaceutical medications. I love
Mm,
doctors. I'm grateful for doctors. They saved my leg, but I really like to look for to myself, my own inner guidance, physician heal thyself, basically. I like to look first. And I always find when I'm looking, the solution or the answers come.
yeah.
And whether it be I need to go see the doctor or I need to just get some more rest or I need to
Mm,
be upping my supplement support. We are in the age of supplementation. There is no denial. So you really want to get supplementing with things that have been human tested, right? And not paid for to be tested so that it's peer
I
reviewed. This is very,
absolutely. Yeah,
and then you're taking things that make you feel better,
yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to quickly ask you because you mentioned the mind-body connection, and yeah, my work is all about the mindset, the energy, but also, yeah, the physical body when it comes to the nervous system. But you really come from that more physical side with the nutritions and, yeah, how we nourish our body. So, and you say that you look deeper behind like a physical issue or a deficiency, like really deeper what is behind that so that this shows up. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's why I was saying that cell care is the new self-care, right? So
Mhm.
looking at our cells and how our cells can be happy, happy cells do the work that they need to do to keep us having energy and to function well. And we have 96 trillion cells, and every 60 seconds, 1 billion cells regenerate. So
That's incredible.
I know we're always growing new cells. There's new
Yeah.
opportunities, right? So are we giving those new cells what they need?
Mhm.
And there are water, of course, one of them. Hydration, electrolytes. I'm a big fan of electrolytes. A lot of people get migraines consistently because they're dehydrated. They
Yeah.
don't even know it.
Yeah.
So, as we know, thoughts and emotions have a direct effect on our well being. If I've had a stressful experience, usually for a week or so, I can feel it in my body. So
Mhm.
thoughts and emotions. So this is why it's so important to calm our reaction, right? To be more like of a witness and not being reacting all the time
Yeah.
because it just sends shivers of problems in our body. So the reason I love adaptogens and nootropics, which mushrooms are adaptogens, um, ashwagandha, eleuthero, shishandra, all of these beautiful plants that are grown in extreme conditions in like Siberia and all over where it's very extreme and harsh. and they've grown there for thousands of years, and they survive because they've learned to adapt. So when we're ingesting it or putting like an oil from a plant on us, the oil is basically the immunity to the plant. It's in the hairs and fibers of the plant, and it's the plant's immunity. So when we extract that, however that's done, hopefully in a integritous way, and we ingest it or put us on us, it's helping our body adapt to stress. So anything
Oh,
that we
that's
can
so
do,
interesting. I didn't know that.
it's
Uh-huh.
true. And that's why when you inhale it, lavender, for example, helps you calm down. These things help your body regulate your
Yeah,
hormones, your stress level. So your reaction, it's like things roll off your back more. If you
yeah,
can calm the reaction, you can have less of that cortisol bombing going on all
yeah,
day long in your body, and you can actually calm your nervous system down enough to start seeing the answers.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure we all, also you who are watching this, we all have examples where we have experienced a physical reaction from, yeah, a state of mind or stress or even anger or sadness or whatever it is. But yeah, every thought causes a physical reaction, a feeling. And if that becomes very intense or over a longer period of time, yes, of course, it shows up in our physical body. So it's really, it's all linked, it's all related. And that's why I also love to consider all levels because, yeah, I really believe if we want to shift ourselves, um, if we want to shift our relationship to money, just like if we want to shift a physical issue or a deficiency, we actually need to look at all levels, our mind, our feelings, emotions, our energy, and our physical body. And only then, yeah, we really will get the results that we want.
Well, and I hear people oftentimes, and you can pay attention if you guys are watching, just pay attention to what people say. Well, oftentimes you'll hear them say, "Oh God, I'm so stupid about something," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Don't say that." Or that's killing me, or it's
Mm,
killing me, or I'm so sick
yeah.
over it,
Yeah.
or and for me, before I broke my leg, I realized about a month into after breaking my leg, I had been saying I need a break for 6 months. It was my mantra.
Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
very clear. So words and thoughts have effects on our body. So we need to just clean it all up, right? And that's why I really truly believe that love is the love is the real medicine. Love ourselves first. That's the
Yeah.
healer. And then
Yeah.
knowing that our resources have been given to us. We weren't just dropped down here with nothing to do or have to help. We were given this amazing
Yeah.
earth
Yeah.
to live on and to eat and enjoy. And we should be doing more of that.
Yes, and you are the living example that whatever you've been through, it is possible to really create and live a joyful life.
It's a lot of choices. I'll leave you, I wanted to end with this little thing or leave you with this thought that, when people saw me, because I've always been a positive person before the accident too, a happy person. And, you know, I've always liked selling my products. It's just always it was fun for me to sell oil and teach. I've been a teacher. And so people knew me. And after the accident, if you saw me, you would have been shocked. It was just a complete turnaround and so depressing. And there were so many triggers for so long, it was difficult to pull up. And there were times when I didn't think I'd make it. And there were times when I didn't know if I'd ever walk again, and where I thought I was going to lose my leg. So it was very, very depressing. And the minute I started in the gratitude, of course, and thinking about other things besides myself. I learned a long time ago, depression tends to really start with a focus on self. And so the minute I started focusing on my well being in a more holistic way,
Yeah.
and that included the thoughts that I was thinking and the things that I was feeding my body and mind, because when I was eating all that food to put on all that weight, it was because I was trying to stuff all that stuff down, right? I was really depressed and resentful. So the minute I started to really open up and love myself again, then the doors open to find the solutions, right? And for someone like you, or for my system, I love my system because it really directed me. It healed my relationship with food. And it
Yeah.
helped me heal my relationship with me.
Yeah.
And it helped me to understand the importance of protein pacing. Guys, you got to learn about protein pacing because, and if you want to know how much protein you need, you can go to proteinpacing.org and check out the number. But basically, you take your ideal weight times one, and that's how many grams. So I need to eat like 150, 145 grams of protein a day. Guys, that's a lot of protein. And I cannot eat that much beef, and I don't eat a lot of beef. So uh, I like the fact that I can get my undenatured whey from happy cows, kosher, non-GMO, soy-free, gluten-free in my meal and feel really good about getting 36 grams of protein. Sometimes I add more and it's even more protein each time. And I do that throughout the day. And then when I have my meal, I make sure it's protein dense because we need the protein to build those cells, to have our brain function correctly. And this is why, you know, in undernourished countries, you see they can't, it's difficult to move forward. So we want to nourish our brains and we want to eat enough protein. So don't forget that part of it. And if you have questions on it, please reach out to me and schedule with me because I love talking about it. And I just feel like when you get it together, the whole package, nothing feels as good as that.
Yeah. Amazing. And we will put all your links down here in the comments, or if you want to share, you know, a formula or anything, we will put these information into the comments. But anyway, also Janice's link. So if you want to hear more, ask her some questions, have a chat with her, she's always open to that, then just go to the links here and you will, yeah, connect to her.
Oh, and
So,
also, can I just say really fast, Yara? Sorry to interrupt, but I have a
oh,
group too that I interview people in. I interviewed Yara in my group. It's
yeah.
there saved. And I like to interview people in the wellness field or that bring things to my community of people that really want to optimize the quality of their life. So if you are also someone that would like to come share about stress relief, um, we've had yoga at the desk. We've had all kinds of fun things that I'd like to interview, and I'd love to do that. And then you could check out Yara's interview there. And because she has shared with some of my clients as well. And I'm always referring her because she does great. And there
Thank
was
you.
one little point in that last thing I forgot to say. So I did want to go back to it really fast because I just remembered. But I used to have this thing called the walk around the rim moments. So when I was pulling out, and then maybe this one little thing will help somebody today. When I was trying to pull myself up again to the point where I could smile, there were always these triggers, right, that would pull me back down. So one day I was thinking about it and I was visualizing it that it was like a pit, this big, ugly, dark pit that I would go into. And when you go in that pit, and I know you've probably been there, it's not a pleasant place and it's hard to get out of sometimes. It's
Yeah.
slippery. So I used to I created this thing where I called it the walk around the rim moments, where I would recognize the trigger, the thought, the word, whatever, the feeling sometimes. And then I would look down at the hole like that and I would go, oh no, I'm not going there. And I'd
So
walk around,
powerful.
I'd imagine myself walking around the rim, physically walking around
Mhm.
all the way. Sometimes it's a big rim, all the way around the rim to the other side. Instead of going down in the rim and having to get back up, I just walk around the rim and I would acknowledge, wow, I did that. That's cool. I acknowledged it.
Yeah.
I felt it. I didn't want to go there and I made the choice to do something different. This is where we change when we make the choice,
Exactly.
something different.
Thank you so much for sharing. This is so powerful. You literally like rewrite the story in your head. You give yourself different pictures, you make a different choice, and you don't step in but walk away. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Janice, for this really interesting conversation. And just the very last thing I want to say and remind every one of you that everything is so precious. Like, every moment we enjoy, every day, every being that is here, and also our bodies. And yeah, we can't turn back the time. And we know we live in a very intense time. There are so many people, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, in a month, next year. And that's not about being scared. That is just about really appreciating what we have and taking care of what we love. And yeah, our bodies, our loved ones, and the time that we have, right?
Yeah,
So
and reality too, you know what? Just a few years ago when we were thinking about what was ahead, we didn't know. We never know, do we?
we never know. We don't. All right, Janice, thank you so much. And thank you everyone who has been watching here live or the replay. It's been a pleasure to be here with all of you. And yeah, we will connect soon again. Lots of
Thank
love.
you, Yara. Thank you, hon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.